Here I can to see the guy. Right, back to another movie review. In this movie review, everybody, I'll be ending the whole scenario, the whole conversation, the ultimate deadline based on the whole It conversation. If you've seen my previous review, I did a big rant on It, the 2017 book adaptation. I was open and honest with you. I told you about the movie, how I disliked it, but how people are just, entitled to their own opinion. I just gave mine. That's all I did. I went into detail about how I thought about the movie, etc. So someone sent me a private email saying, what do you think about the original adaptation? Stephen King's It that came out in the year of 1990. This one right here. Don't want to hear my thoughts about it, so I'm going to give it to you right now in this review. Now, I've already reviewed this movie twice. I've usually had different thoughts about it each time I've watched it, but I've just watched it again moments ago. The original adaptation. It's longer than I thought, but it's a mini-series. Okay, so the time slot doesn't really bother me that much. Now, I feel about it the same way how I feel about it when I last reviewed it. Mixed to negative. Again, this is my opinion. Some people can watch this movie all the way through and be really into it, adore it. I've got positive facts about this movie, and I've got negative facts about this movie. Okay, put it this way, I prefer this a lot more than the 2017 book adaptation. I really do. And I'm going to get into my reasons why. So there's good things and bad things about this movie. As you can see, this is like a movie / rant. Like some stuff, dislike some stuff. And I'm going to get into the reasons and my reasons for them reasons, basically. Let's get into some good things. What do I like about this movie? The story. The whole concept about Pennywise the dancing clown, terrorising this town, killing children, having the ability to transform into different things to get inside the minds of people, and the kids forming a pact known as called the Loser Club, because they're always being picked on at school by a particular bully and his friends. They form like a bit of an alliance to stop this evil clown from killing more children. So they get together and they come up with a plan to try and kill off the clown in order to save everyone, basically. However, they make a pact that if it hasn't died, that they'll all reunite again. The film skips forward when all characters are all grown up. They discover that Pennywise is back for certain clues after killing a little girl in the garden and finding a picture of Georgie. So they all agree to reunite, get together to try and stop Pennywise once again, who's back more evil and stronger than ever. That's your plot. Good plot. One thing I did like about this movie, in fact my favourite part of the movie, is the whole Pennywise character. Pennywise the dancing clown, I think he's a great character in this adaptation. Tim Curry, who plays him, did an excellent job. He's been in loads of TV roles. I liked him in Home Alone 2 and some other films as well, but I like to remember him more than in Stephen King's It. I think it's his best movie role. Not putting his other movies down, I think he's been some great movies. I liked him in Home Alone 2, and I thought he was even more better as a singles actor in this movie. I thought he brought the Pennywise character to life really good. He put his heart and soul into the role. And people may disagree with me on this. I mentioned this in my previous review of the 2017 review, sorry. The Pennywise character, I think, is terrifying. The first one, the one in the original. Many of you would say, how is that possible? In 2017, adaptation he was more scarier. But again, that's stood down based to an opinion. I'll explain why I think this clown is more scarier than the 2017 version. I'll tell you why, shall I? It's the fact that he looks normal. I think normal clowns have a side about them that you don't know. And I think obvious looking, normal looking things look more scary and more haunting than obvious things. Yeah, you do see scenes where Pennywise's eyes glow, his teeth become razor sharp, but he doesn't go overboard. He doesn't go overboard than that. In the 2017 adaptation, it was like shoving the character down our throats, saying, "Be scared of Pennywise. You know, he's scary this way. His looks are there. His large jagging teeth are there. For some reason, he's making scenes of seizures, going ah, screaming at the screen, like supposedly telling the audience, be afraid of that. It was shoved down our throats. Where in this adaptation of this character of Pennywise, it was more simpler. He didn't have to try hard to be scary. Just Pennywise acting like his normal self, doing banters, playing jokes, like the scene in the library, where he's laughing hysterically. Even the little scene where he's talking to Georgie down in the sewer, saying they all float down here, and just him shouting, saying, "You'll float too!" I thought that was more intimidating than the conversation that Georgie had with Pennywise in the 2017 adaptation, where he actually sees his arm get bitten off, and seeing Georgie get killed for that reason. One thing I like about this movie, it tests your imagination. In my opinion, there's nothing more scarier than the imagination. I like movies that test your imagination, makes you create images in your mind about what's really going on in a film or a book or comic or whatever. This movie seems to do a lot of them things. It seems to leave the terrifying moments for you to figure out. I mean, when you read the book, for example, the scene where Pennywise bites off Georgie's arm. Of course, you can't see it, but you can see it in your brain. And that's what terrifies you. It makes you freeze for a minute and think, shit, I wonder what that looked like. I wonder what the atmosphere was like. How terrified was Georgie? How serious was Pennywise? It makes you create images in your mind. 2017 book adaptation just showed you every scene. Where in this one, it got you thinking. It really got you thinking. And the fact that Pennywise looks so normal makes him terrifying. I mean, look at that face. It's a normal looking face. But when you look closely at it, doesn't it look a bit scary to you? In 2017 book adaptation, it made him look obviously scary, and did not like it. So I like the fact that this film tested your imagination. I thought the kids did a great job in this movie. It starred Jonathan Brandis, who's no longer with us, I'm afraid. He committed suicide by hanging, which was really sad because he had a bright future, and this was one of the films that boosted his career. He was the kid who plays Stuttering Bill, who stuttered. And he was also the big brother of Georgie, of the little kid who gets killed in this movie. Beverly was a nice character. An average girl who's abused by her own father. The 2017 book adaptation and the film went to extreme lengths by making it feel like the father was a child molester and had a passion for her, which I found rather sickening. That put me off the movie. Again, even the fat kid in this played a great role. He was getting abused by Henry Bowell, the bully in this. He had a sense of character to him, so every actor brought their character to life, and I thought they did a great job. So that's what I like. Those are all the positive facts, the characters, the meaning of the film. I'll discuss what I didn't like about this movie now when I'm discussing it now in general. Basically, the film opens up. You have this little girl riding a bike. So she's Pennywise laughing and making noises behind the the washing line. The sheets are going by. Pennywise is hiding behind the wash sheets. Starts off being friendly by saying hi, makes a face, and then eventually kills the girl. But we don't know how, because again, it's testing your imagination. How do you think he killed the girl? We never see the girl's body. We never see any gore. It just leads you all to the viewer's imagination about what happened. At the scene, they find a picture of Georgie. And one of the kids, now all grown up, gets in contact with Bill, the older brother, and says, "It's back." And from then on, we see different scenes of all the flashbacks that all these characters remember when they was children. They remember the pact they made at the end, that if the clown isn't dead, they'll all come back. So one by one, they get in touch with each other, saying, "Remember your promise, we need to come back, we need to stop Pennywise, or it, or whatever you want to call it. We need to stop the clown because he's back more badder than ever." And one character commits suicide in the bath by slashing his wrists with razor blades, and he leaves a message "it" on the wall for his wife to see, because he can't bear going back through all the agonising memories of what happened. So yeah, it was little scenes like that made it scary, intense. You know, a guy slashing his wrists in the bath. You know, does it show you the scene him doing it? Because again, it's leading up to your imagination again. You can only just picturing him seeing him doing it. I mean, I will say the first half of this movie is the best, when it shows you the kids trying to defeat Pennywise. I love the first half of this movie, of this miniseries. I thought it was more scary with the kids trying to take control. I thought Pennywise was more intimidating in the first half of this movie. When it came to the second role, we hardly see, well, the second half of the movie, we see some scenes with Pennywise, but they weren't as intimidating. There was a few dibs and dabs of scenes where he was intimidating, but there were certain scenes where we don't see much of Pennywise. And with them all being adults, it's less scary because it seems like an adult was taking on an adult, basically. With the children, it seems like the children are more weaker and they're struggling and they're trying more harder. Whereas the adults, they're just coming up with ways, basically. And it seemed less scarier. That's just my opinion. I mean, the second half of the story just seemed to have dragged to me. It just dragged, you know, seeing the bully in the mental house, we see these Pennywise in the sky, in the moon, seeing with them dogs, you know. And the ending, I thought, of this movie was atrocious. The fact that the adults are battling a huge spider, or a huge crab, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Couldn't they have come up with an idea with them to be facing off the clown, because that's his original form? I know Pennywise can transform into different things, but why randomly a crab or a spider? You know, even Tim Curry said in interviews that he did not like the ending of Stephen King's It. It would have been more suspense, more creepier, and it would have made even more sense if I just fought the Pennywise character. I don't know if they'd come up with any scenes of the Pennywise character being defeated, but these adults managed to kill the spider, etc. Where the ending of the first movie was more intense, because the kids got together as a group, they went in the sewer, encountered Pennywise. Beverly shoots these stones at Pennywise with a catapult. Battery has to get sprayed in his eyes and he's all melting, you know, and then he disappears down a drain pipe thinking that he's been defeated, when really he hasn't. He's just come back years later. I thought the first half was a really interesting, good part. With the kids taking control, I thought the kids did a great job. Tim Curry seemed to be more into his role. The second half just seemed a bit... I mean, that scene was pretty intimidating, where it opens up with Bill at George's grave. Pennywise is digging graves for his next victims. You know, and he shows his teeth, like, and they're all rotten and everything. I should say the library scene was pretty good, where them floating balloons bursting in people's faces and you just saw blood. That was a good scene. But from then on, we hardly see much of Pennywise. We hardly see what's going on. It goes into more backstreet histories about these characters, about what they've been getting up to in their later lives, trying to move on from the Pennywise trauma. And it just didn't work. I didn't seem to really care about the second half of this movie. I didn't really care about the characters or anything for that matter. And I was just disappointed in the ending. So there you go. I've stated my key facts and the positive facts that I like about this movie. And I've also stated the things that I didn't like about this movie. But what's really sad is there's more things I dislike than things I liked. And that's really sad. Because this movie put the fear into everybody about clowns. Okay? Tim Curry put the fear into all viewers about clowns. Because he let them use their imagination and bring evil clowns to life. Just the way he walked, talked, laughed, cracked jokes. He did it brilliantly. And he deserved every praise he got, Tim Curry, for this role. Love the Pennywise character. I love him up to the point where I own the movie on Blu-ray. And I love it up to the point where I even own a silicone mask of Pennywise. Just go on my search engine, type in Pennywise silicone mask, and you'll see me wearing it. I do love the character up to the point where I collect action figures and items of him. But I'm not a major lover of this movie. Only the Pennywise scenes in the first half of the movie with the kids trying to battle him out. That's the only thing I like. Like I said, the movie dragged after the second half and it just became less interesting. Some dumb scenes like at the dinner table, the food turning into insects or things like that. It just didn't really occur to me. But again, the scares were there. The thinking scenes were there. In special features wise of this, it includes audio commentary by director Tommy Lee Wallace and actors Dennis Christopher, Tim Reed, John Ritter and Richard Thomas. I mentioned he came out in the year of 1990. What other facts have we got about this film? Its original release was, I believe, November 20th of 1990, the exact time. The budget was $12 million. The original version is on for 192 minutes, where the DVD and Blu-ray version is on for 187 minutes. I mean, the film was a big hit. If I'm being honest with you about this movie, Stephen King's It, the first time I saw it, I believe I was about 10 years old, but I was like parts of the movie around a cousin's house based in Weston-super-Mare. I didn't see the movie from then again. I only heard about people talking about it. You've got to watch Stephen King's It. It's scary, it's scary, it's scary. But at that age, I don't suppose you'll watch a movie like Stephen King's It all the way through. You only watch bits and pieces of it, you know, parts. And that's exactly what I'd done. And I was intrigued by the Pennywise character. It wasn't until like I was about 14, 15 when I actually sat down and watched the whole film through properly. You know, and I praised the film back then. But when I look back at it now and gave my honest review about it, everything I said in this movie review has been accurate about how I feel about it. So that's the way it is. So there you go. Mixed reviews about this movie. I'm ending the Pennywise conversation right now. Prefer this over the 2017 adaptation. Please check my other movie vault, my other review. And we'll see you next time for a different review. Thanks everyone. Peace out.